The Pioneer Valley Workers Center focuses on building power among low-wage and immigrant workers using a non-hierarchy model. All decisions that the organization makes are made through a voting process. Over the past 2 years, they've fought to pass the Welcoming Community Trust Ordinance in Springfield. Andrea Schmid is one of the organizers at PVWC and has always had a passion for community organizing. She sat down with producer Alejandro Cameron to discuss the organization and what got her involved in social justice.
We are a grassroots organization that is located in Northampton, and our mission is to build power among workers and immigrants in the Pioneer Valley. I believe the organization was founded in 2013, and it came during a time when Northampton downtown area is pretty vibrant with a lot of small restaurants, and there's a ton of food service workers, and there were a bunch of issues in the community where we knew that there were workers experiencing wage theft. There were different kinds of abuses that were happening in restaurants here. Folks from unions, folks from the community, restaurant workers, community organizers came together and started having conversations around creating the Worker Center, and that's sort of how it started. There's 3 main bodies that make up the Worker Center. So, and these 3 different bodies do different kinds of things that are all ultimately, aimed at building power and building a movement that really seeks to get to the root of exploitation. So the first body is the worker committees. The worker committees, we have 2 of them. One of them is in Springfield and one of them is in Northampton. The second body would be Sanctuary in the Streets, which is a rapid response network of nearly 2,000 folks who have been trained and have said in the event of any kinds of hate crimes, any kind of workers' rights violations, and also in the face of deportation that they would organize, whether it be a direct action, through picketing, anything like that. It's a group that has sort of self-organized to different committees that address different issues in the community. So for instance, we've created a child care collective, which is a bunch of folks who take care of kids during organizing meetings, right? But really to create a space that's welcoming to multiple generations. And so that's sort of an example. And they also developed a 24-hour hotline that's completely run by volunteers. And that hotline is open for folks to call whether they have any kind of labor issue or any kind of immigration issue. Another example would be the rideshare network. We created this rideshare network that's completely also volunteer run to give rides to Lucio Perez, is a man that's been in Sanctuary for about a year that we've been supporting, and he's been in Amherst, but his family lives in Springfield. And so the rideshare network has been able to coordinate enough rides so that his family can come and visit him multiple times a week. And the third part of the organization is the collective, which is really, so I'm part of the collective, and we're the staff organizers that kind of oversee all of this and facilitate all the different things that are going on. Even though I've been officially, a community organizer for immigrant and workers' rights for about a year now, officially, the struggle that immigrants have been facing in this country is not new to me. I am Honduran. I grew up in Miami, and my family migrated from Honduras when I was a kid. I was actually born here, so while I'm a citizen, a lot of my own personal experiences and the way that my family relates to this country has been very much that of an immigrant kind of experience. I think that the work that we're doing right now at the Worker Center, and also what other grassroots organizations in the area and organizers in the area are doing right now to combat state violence in so many different ways, right? Be it through anti-foreclosure work, be it through prison abolition. There's just so many different kinds of things that are happening in the community on top of immigrant and workers' rights. All of that is necessary work. It needs to happen. And I think that, one of the things that does keep me going is the relationships I have with people. The Springfield Worker Committee has been very involved in getting the Community Trust Act in Springfield to be passed. It's been actively a campaign for about 3 weeks, but we've been organizing to get to this point for about 2 years now. And to get it to be an ordinance now is a really big deal. The ordinance is really intended to make it illegal for not only municipal police to not be able to share information with ICE, but also other municipal agencies and organizations like schools, hospitals, groups like that, right? And in a city that has such a vibrant immigrant community and a vibrant working class community, this is a huge deal for immigrants and for children who have status here but have undocumented parents and whose parents are afraid of going to school, right? Or sharing any kind of information. I think working at the local level is really crucial, and that's really what's fed the work that we're doing here.